everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Focus Vandalia. My name is Rich Hopkins. I'm the communications manager for the city. And on today's program, we are coming to you from a bicycle trail just outside the city of Vandalia. Vandalia's Bicycle Committee Chairman Chuck Smith says if you are a biker, he's got some great advice on how you can bike safely. If you're not a biker, he's got advice and some tips on how you can share the road. Even though the calendar will tell you that May is officially Bicycle Safety Month, Vandalia Bicycle Committee member Chuck Smith believes that bicycle safety is a year-long priority. Smith says biking is a great way to get around.
First of all, you don't pay anything for fuel. Your fuel is oatmeal. I say I get 20 miles per bowl of oatmeal. And in addition to that, it's a great physical activity.
Safety should always be a primary concern for the recreational biker. Smith says every bike ride should start with a safety checklist that's as easy to remember as ABC.
A stands for air. We want to make sure that those tires are inflated to the factory specifications, which you'll find on your tire. Secondly, B is for brakes. We want to make sure that those pads are not too worn, and we want to test those brakes before we hop on the bike and get out there in traffic. We're going to need those brakes to stop us. C is for chain and cranks. We want to make sure that our chain is not rusted. We want to make sure it's lubricated. We want to lubricate that chain about every week. We want to make sure that the cranks are not loose. We need to actually grab that crank and see if it's loose. If it's loose, we need to bring it into a bike shop.
Those who prefer using four wheels to get around also have a role to play in bicycle safety, most important of which is giving the bike riders enough room to operate. Smith says a number of bicycle organizations worked hard to get the state legislature to understand that there ought to be a law protecting bike riders.
That law does two things. First of all, it requires that Ohio motorists give cyclists at least 3 feet when passing bicyclists. Secondly, it permits bicyclists to proceed through an intersection after stopping and yielding right-of-way when not detected by those cables that are generally buried under the pavement and normally don't detect bikes because so many of us now are riding carbon fiber bikes or aluminum bikes.
So the moral of today's story is simple. If you are a bicycle rider, we want to remind you to always bike safely and use those checklists. If you're not a bicycle rider, we want to remind you to always share the road. That's going to do it for this edition of Focus Vandalia. I'm Rich Hopkins. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.